Now we're after marking out the 4 corners here. So, but we're going to have to dig here now because we'll have to set the ground peg in concrete. This is a big structure now, so you're going to need a lot of concrete in it. Well, a decent amount anyway. You'll see now in a minute. So, I put up profiles outside, you know. So we can take away all the profiles. I've just marked where I need to dig. I just need to go down here with a small bucket. I have all the other ground pegs marked, as you can see, along the way. Go over here then. Well, I might as well do everything together. This will be our 2 doors here. This will be the centre. I'm going to put a small piece of concrete here. There'll be 2 bars going down there to take the bolts going down. This will be where the door post is going, so there'll be a piece of timber here like this with plastic under it, and there'll be rebar going down. I'll set that in a bit of concrete as well. That'll be the 2 doors. Then there's going to be a panel out here then as well. Same thing, I'm going to have to put a piece of timber down here, polythene underneath it, rebars going down. So while I have the digger, I might as well dig the same on that side. And so that's the next thing now. We're going to start digging there now, and then we'll concrete all the posts in. That's the next move now. What I do with these is I put up 2 profiles. So that's the centre of the line there. It's 9 metres wide, so that's the centre of the point there. I did another one over there. That's the one for the edge of the polytunnel going that way. And then I put the line about 200 mil high, and I pulled it down there and I put it 200 mil high. And I set each one of these in concrete then, about 50 mil down from the line. You can see the line of them here. They're all in a line, 1.5 metres apart. Can you just show them here, Ryan? Do you see them? Yeah, they're all 1.5 metres apart all the way down. They're all set in concrete now. What about at least a barrel load of concrete? You want more in the corners, you know? Give it plenty, like. Now, this is the bottom of our tunnel on the outside, and as you're coming up over, then you want to see where it says connect on your support bars. So basically, if you go up to the top there, it's my blue mark there. The blue mark there, you can see. Is there. Is 1955. Now just connect him so he's just slightly tight like that, so he won't fall over as you're lifting him up. These lighter clips here, these are for connecting your crop bars. At a height of about just over 8.5 feet, they need to be just about 6 inches below that. Now the crop support bar, if you just go down here, Ryan, just have him, that's the clip to take your crop support bar. About a foot from the end, you can move them up or down as you need to then. It's just good to have all these on because then you don't have to be climbing up the tunnel putting them on. Same, have your hot spot tape on beforehand as well. Now at the ends of the tunnel, have your hot spot tape on the sides as well, you know. And then on the ends of your tunnel, where you have these on them, just make sure the pointy end is on the inside of the tunnel so it's not going to catch your polythene on the outside. Now these bars you see on the ground are the top of the hoops, you know. They join the 2 hoops, so there's just a slight curve at the top. And what I've done here now is I've marked the centre of them. You see the blue mark. And then what you do with each one then is you put on your crossover clamp, put on your hotspot tape, and then put on your crossover clamp just where the blue mark is here. Just secure him a little bit. He doesn't need to be tightened, just so he doesn't slide up and down. No, so I've just laid them all on the ground, and this is the centre piece here in the middle. It's the short, smaller one. It's the last. It's got a reduced piece here. A reduced piece. This is the centre piece here. It just pushes in like so. And then you put a couple of self-tapper screws in it. Another one here and 2 on the other side. That's it. Now 3 of us lifted over this and I lifted in my side here. So go over here now and Anthony is going to lift this in with a bit of help from Ryan. Right, just push it in there, so Ryan, you might get my hand there. Is that? Oh, that's grand. Alright, good stuff. No, she just mentioned that on this side you're going to need hotspot tape as well on the ends, you know, so don't forget about that. Now just put the level onto each one. Just give them a little push forward, right or left, just to see which way they need to come. Towards you, Luke, is it? Yeah. Alright, I'll give a little push there, so. Perfect, yeah. Alright, that's good. Now when you're doing your ridge bars and support bars, just mark the first one 24 millimeters from the end, and then go up 1.5 meters and so on along, because it just makes it easier when you have it erected, just to know where to tie each crossover clamp. Now what I've done now is I've put up the first section. Now the first section will be whatever length your ridge bars and support bars are. They'll be as long as possible. What we'll do is we'll make them the same length, and we'll just divide them up so that they're the same length and as long as possible from a 6 meter bar. So then when you select this one, I was actually working out 4 sections. So we put in the 4 sections and we slide in our bars. They just slid in from this end. They just slid in from this end through the crossover clamps. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten the crossover clamps on the support bar on the right and on the support bar on the left. And then my next step then is to put my my prop bar on each side. This will make the structure rigid, and that will enable me to go up there safely on a ladder, unless you want to hire some means of height. But at least this way it's secure there, and I can walk then safely off a ladder. So that's the next step. Now I'm just going to show you one of the joints here now and how it's connected. Now this is the first joint on one of the support bars, and you'll see the bar is finishing flush with this bar. You see this is exactly flush with this because that's where the first mark is, 24 millimeters in here. So that's half the thickness of the bar. So then I've matched this up with the mark that I had placed on it, and this is matched up with the mark that I had placed on it, and I just tightened it into position. Tighten all the nuts, and then just out of an abundance of caution I just put a self-tapping screw there and a self-tapping screw there, and another one here and another one here. Sorry, they're probably not necessary, but they only take a few seconds to put in. So I work my way along here now. I'll do the next one here. You can see the mark. I have to pull it back this way a few inches, and I work my way along, make sure everything's on the marks, and then I'm going to do the other side. And then I'm going to do the prop bars, the 2 prop bars, and then I'm going to do the middle, because the middle will be rigid and safe to get up on. Now if you forget to put these on, what you need to do is give him a few belts, and each time he gets slightly wider. Let's just have that. Go on. No. He's gone up there now, so I'll slip him on. When you get him on, then just reshape him with one of these. Just position him there. You need to keep the pointy end of the bolt on the inside. So he's coming from outside. That's the outside of the tunnel here now. You slide him inside there so he fits like that. Put him through. Put your big nut there, your spacing nut, That's just to stop you over tightening. Line him up there like that. Throw him on it then to get a bit of traction. Now you can knock him through a bit. Put on your nut. And you repeat the process.
Go on.
Alright, look, you might just slide him in there, so we'll just take up this prop there. Let me know, I get the angle right. It's just a bit tight, see? Go up a bit. Alright? Yeah.
Slide him in there until he meets the metal.
Yeah, get him right through. Is he down, yeah? Yeah. We'll have to get this fella. Same with this one, now keep the pointy end of the nut inside. Trying to tighten up this one guide. Keep him going till this hits the steel. Now, you might just check that level down there, Luke, will you, and just tell me how we're fixed.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we tighten them up with that, so. And then when you open them in, then put a self-tapper in there as well. Keep heading in there, right. Okay. What you do is just put the timber up, just tie it up, put it up with a bit of tie wrap or a bit of tape there at a height that you can work with. You can work at, and then that needs to go down on the bottom half of this. You can imagine there's two halves going down on the bottom half, and just offer it up, drill a hole there, mark that, drill a hole there, push this through, and then you put a self-tapper. Sorry, and on the other side then you put on a nut, I'll show you on the other side there, a nut and a washer on each one. I'll show you on the other side there now. See here now, I put on a nut and a washer. I put it up to the height where I wanted it, and I just tightened it so that it will go down with a belt of a sledgehammer, like maybe just a little bit looser than that even. Now, you just go along here, see where the timbers join here. When you're putting it on, make sure that they don't meet at a bar, you know. Just keep them either side or in the middle there, and then you join them with a piece of timber there. There's actually four screws there. There's 4 screws there. That's 8 screws altogether coming through there. And then all the way along the top, then you have the back. Same thing. Now, try not to get the join here. So just make sure the joins are alternating. And just put the batten all the way along like this. And then what you do then is you pre-cut. When we're putting the polythene on, the polythene will come down like this. We'll be trapped in this here. So just have him and have a few screws. The screws are at about 8 inches, 7 or 8 inch intervals. On this one, the screws are at about a foot intervals. That's loads. And you can put it wherever you want. If you want it down the bottom, grand, I'm going to put the mesh here so I'm keeping it up on the joint. So I'm going to put it there, and I knock it down and probably come down 3 or 4 inches as I tighten the polythene. I'm going to have mesh then going up the ground. I think that's pretty typical. Now just a couple of quick notes. One is the crop bars. I have them 6.4 metres long. At that height, they work out, at that length they work out about 8.5 feet, maybe just a little bit more than that height. That's kind of a good height so the door will fit, you know. You won't have too, you can see it on the other end there, you don't have too much of a gap above the door frame. Now, I divided that into 3 then, 6.4, it comes out about 2.1 or something very close to that. So I just marked on the crop bears from each end 2.1, and then I put on my crop support bears. I just put them in that general area. You don't have to be exact, you know. But, and then into every, so then I put on my crop support bears. You can see them there. They end up about a little bit more than a foot from the centre of the tunnel, and they come down to 2.1 metres from the end of the crop bear. And they're a lighter clip. A good tip is if you have a size 13 socket that you can put onto an impact driver for tightening them, it saves a lot of time. And then into each clip when you're finished, then put a self-tapping screw. You can probably see them there now. Same thing on the end ones, now just keep the self-tapping screw on the inside of the tunnel. Everything, then anywhere where the polythene is going to touch the steel, hotspot tape, especially over the doors there where the galvaband is. Don't forget to do that. And at all the intersections, at all the clips, cover every clip. You know, now I've seen tunnels up for 17 years with no galvaband, but if you're going to do it professionally, this is what you, sorry, with no I've seen tunnels up for 17 years with no hotspot tape, and they're fine, but it comes with it, and you're going to do the job professionally. It could happen that we get a couple of hot summers. We had one there a few years ago, and in a hot summer the hotspot tape wouldn't do any harm, like. And that's it. Now I should mention now, the doors I make are 1 metre 155 wide, so I just allowed an extra 20 mil for the opening. So, and then next to that then we have a panel. Now the reason we have the panel is because from the edge of the door to the outside of the tunnel you can't have a big long distance there because the polythene will flap, you know. So I had to make my panel, and I wanted to make it about the same size as the door, so I just picked a figure. 1.55 millimeters is the distance I made that, so that's the little head up there is cut 1.55. Now when you come down onto the pieces of timber, the timber is very forgiving. I could put a socket there and put it into concrete, and then the timber could slot straight down into a kind of a metal socket. But the problem is, if you put it in the wrong place, you're going to have an awful lot of trouble. Put the piece of timber down, put it in as near as you can, because conditions aren't always ideal, and it's very forgiving. Just put a bit of concrete around it, a couple of rebars down into the ground, and you can see here this one's actually worked out pretty good. This one's worked out pretty good. Now, I just put an extra silver bracket onto it. There's actually no need for that, but they were only 69 cents, so they look good. And this one actually looks pretty good, and this one, yeah, he looks pretty good. I'll just show you one that's not so good now. Yeah, this one, when I was driving the rebar, it was kind of getting deflected left and right, because I'm actually on hardcore here. It was very difficult to put in, so the timber went a little bit to the right. It wasn't, I kind of knew it wasn't going to be the end of the world, so I put down the, you can see the doorpost is slightly, is only a half onto it, but then I managed to get 4 screws, one from that side, one from the other side, 2 from there, so that would have been more or less secured, like. And then on the other one I had 2 from this side as well, but they would have just missed. So that I put on the metal plate. So if that nice go on, I just put on the metal corner bracket there then, so that's set, like there's nothing going to move that. On this side then, when you put your timber up, just put a level here, so that she's level that way, and put a level here, so that she's level that way, and then fix it to your timber down below. With 8 100 mm screws, they'll be included, and then put your metal bracket next to that as well, just for extra, so not on earth will shift it like. Now just here at the top of the door post where the head comes across and joins it, just put another 2 screws in here, you know. I already have a few in here, 5 here, and I have another couple to go here as well, you know, so I'll sort that out. Now you see here I have the timber rail set. You can set it to suit yourself. If you can put it right down by the ground, 4 or 5 inches off the ground, and tighten it if you're going to bring your polythene all the way to the end. I have mine up near the end of the hoop. Now I'm putting mesh on here. You can also bring it up here and you can put on mesh, but you can also roll up and down your polythene. I'm just cutting mine away because this is actually going to be a workshop for me. Now just by the doors then, what I've done is I've set, I've got actually, you can see that timber going across on the side of the tunnel from the door. I've set it 4 inches lower because I expect the tunnel to go down from the door frame across to the outside of the tunnel. That timber I've set it 4 inches lower on the side of the door frame. The reason being is that I expect to knock down the frame on the outside along the side of the tunnel down about 4 inches, so it should be quite level. What I've done then is I've put the timber on it there to form a rebate. I've used these silver things again here, these brackets. So I put one underneath, and there's going to be a gap because he's down at 4 inches there. So when it comes down, that gap won't really close, but these will be strong enough anyway. And then I put a rebate on the door here. You can see it just comes as far as here again, because underneath that it'll be mesh. And I'll continue that to the top there, level with the side of the door. Along the top of the door then I've just divided that into 5 pieces. I think it's 930 millimeters for each one. But yours will be different depending on your door. I think 5 pieces is good to do. Now I have a few, I don't have soil here to weigh it down or to stretch it, so I have a few of these red barrels here, you can see. They're full of clips that are quite heavy. I'm just going to use them to stretch the polythene while I pin it down, you know. We're going to follow the same principle now. You see the rope is going up there over the top. We're going to pull the polythene over as normal. We're going to pin it down at the door frames, and then we're going to pin it down on the shoulders there, and just pin it at an angle coming in, just so it straightens across the door to the shoulder of the tunnel. It's the same. Now this is a short tunnel because it's really a workshop, but it's the same principle. Now the other thing to watch out for, so like this is a short tunnel, but if you have but it's the same thing will happen here, but especially with a long tunnel, when you start pulling that rope, sometimes the polythene can just take off and get a momentum of its own. So it's important to have somebody standing there in case it decides to spin. You can just spin all your polythene off onto the ground. You know, don't ask me how I know that. And then the longer the tunnel, the heavier the polythene is going to be. Up to about 100 feet you have no bother of one person pulling it, another person guiding it, and another person keeping an eye on the road. After that then you probably want 2 people pulling it, and or else use some kind of mechanical machine, tie onto the top of the machine or onto the side of a truck or something. Even a car or something like that, you know, some mechanical means. But 2 people would do it as well. Now polythene is here. I have it tied here in a lasso. Nice and tight, and I put a bit of tape on it there, just so there's no knots or anything. As it's going over the top now, somebody will guide it, and as it gets caught in something, we'll just give it a little tip over, you know, as it's going over the top of that tunnel. Now here in the corners I just came past it about ½ an inch with the timber, and just so that the U-bolt has a bit of clearance from the end, and then I just put this square with it, more or less. Now someone asked me a question the other day, and they were asking me about these sticking out, you know, and they were saying like when you go to tighten these, would the polythene not run after? But it actually doesn't. I just go in, cut a little hole, tighten them, and that's the end of it. Nothing's ever happened after that, you know, as regards the polythene ripping or anything. I suppose if you're worried about them, you could cut them off back in there. It wouldn't stop you tightening them. But it makes no difference as far as I can see, so don't worry about it. You have a timber like going from here to here now, so along here. They don't seem to make any difference really sticking out. So my first thing I'm going to do is go up here and I'm going to one hand holding the camera. I'm going to stick my head up over the top here. So I'm just going to pull it because the one place is going to get caught here is at the very intersection, so I'm just going to pull it up here. Jack is standing by there, and if it gets stuck he's going to use a 4x2 just with a blunt end, you know, just to push it over the top. And then once we start on moving along, she'll be fine. So just keep going.
Two by four maybe?
Alright. Come on.
Yeah, that's it down the end.
Yeah. Alright. No, I'm kind of out of breath here now because the wind came up there, so the best thing is if there's any bit of wind forecast at all, don't do this because you won't get it tight. What happens is it raises up in the middle, you know, so I need flat cam. So the first thing I did is I put a batten there, you know, in the middle, and then I pulled it tight with another batten on this end, so there's two ends like that. And then what I want to do is then tighten it across the shoulder, more or less at the point where the prop bar meets the steel there. I want to get it there at an angle, kind of coming slightly in. You'll see it better here now. And what that does, it pulls it across the shoulder. I'll just have a look at this here and then I'll get Jack just to give it a little tug, and you can see. Yeah, we just give a small little pull there on that, Jack, and you can see she's actually tight all along the top there. Just lower down she's a bit loose, but that's going to be done with the timber rail, you know. So like even at that now, that's a good start, you know. So we're going to do the timber rail now next. We're going to put that, just batten them on, a nice snug fit. We're not going to be pulling it around. A nice snug fit, we pull everything, like Jack has that pull there, and then we put in our timber rail there. Same on the other end. And then we'll do the middle ones. And so everything, we'll come back to you then and we'll show you that then again.
Alright, there we go. Yeah.
You can see one thing, you see?
Yeah.
The first batten you do, I think the best one to do is on the ends, you know. And just what we did, Jack just gave that a slight pull there, and I give it a slight pull here. Not too much though, because it's going to get a bit of a sledgehammer, so don't worry about it. So, and then we'll just put that on, and she's just, you can see there's no big folds or anything. We're going to do the same with the other end. We'll do all the ones in the middle. Just nice and snug fit, because we're going to be tightening. It's going to go down 4 inches at least, so just snug is enough there. It's fine. We're going to follow the same principle as all the tunnels. Tied into door frame to door frame, which we've done. And then the next job, and we haven't done it out of order here at the seams we have, is we're going to tighten it at the sides of the door. But we've only just secured it on the sides there now, we haven't tightened it. So we're going to tighten it here. We're going to tighten it here. We're going to pull this down here at an angle like this. We're going to put it in here and trap it. Some of this is going to fold. That's all well and good. And the idea is doing that when we pull it here and take all that slack out of it. We want to tighten the shoulder before we start keeping the sides down, you know. And then when we pull this down, next thing then, the same as every other tunnel, whether you're trenching it or digging it, then so you do the door to door, sides of the doors, you tighten it over the shoulder, then the sides and the corners, and then finally around the door. That'll be our last thing. So our next thing, we're going to pull this down here. There's only two of us here now, it's a two-man job, so I'm just going to show you how we're doing it. We're going to pull it down, put it back in there, tighten it. I'll give you a shot again afterwards. It's straightforward. The main thing is that it's pulling on that there and it's pulling that way. You're going to actually be coming at this kind of an angle, you know. I can't pull it straight down because it's going to be flat. As the pull for that comes around, I tighten along the shoulder. Okay? Is that?
Yep.
Yeah, just one thing there. What we did here is, first of all, I pulled it here and I put a screw there. And then I pulled it here and I worked my way out with screws, etc. And then I came here and I worked my way from the middle again. I worked my way and I screwed it. That's going to pull this way now, so I'll put that pinch it beside the door and not yet like. But then one thing to look out for here is just on this corner, just put a bit of hotspot tape, just on mine. Like, because when we pull that actually might get stuck in the corner there, and you'd have to put a bit of repair tape in to be fine, you know. Just put that there to protect it, save a bit, for a couple of pieces actually. Yeah, just check them on the end there, Jack, just to make up the right.
There.
Yeah, so I'd say when we come over and do this one,
Which one do you want?
here,
This one?
we can get them right in, stuck up there somewhere.
Here's it.
Alright, so that's it.
Here, I think you use it more here. But it's coming loose in the face here.
Yeah.
Here, this bit up here.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll get him.
Yeah.
You know, in there somewhere. I'll get him on the next one. Oh yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, it's just a big one, 4 inches as well. Like. Alright. What's it like on the top?
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, we just nearly tightened them as there, so it's a...
Yep.
Okay, so wondering what we're at there. We're just trying to pull this around the corner, you know. So there's not a big flappy loose bit here. You can see we've got it on the other end as well. Tiny bit there is fine because this is going down 4 inches now. And the next bit now is to the sides of the doors. Oh, you just give them a pull here. I've already put on the first one there. And then you just pull. And then kind of pull across, you know, like gather all this stuff here. As you go down then it should be coming straight across. There's my two poles there already, but they're going the other way. So just remember, if this doesn't work out tight enough, you can just come back again and loosen it. We're not pouring concrete at all, it's finished and done with. These things can be moved from pulls that they're not happy with. Now, remember that's going to go down 4 inches out here, but only a quarter of an inch here, but that'll pull that even more, you know. If it doesn't, we can come back and pull it more. So that's the same, we do all of those, so that side's the same. Now that's the next step. The first is the fold there, actually. Yep. Now you're just going to have to tighten these. We want them fully tight, say 3 out of 10, you know, if 10 is the full pressure that they're tight. So we're going to be hitting them down with the sledge, you know, so we'll just cut out. Just go in and tighten away then. Yeah, he's kind of there. Same all the way along. Just nice and taut. We're going to hit him down with the sledgehammer. So the other thing then I'm just going to show you on the inside there. Yeah, just come inside there. Turn off this. So you can see actually how tight it is because there's a gap there, you know. So this one definitely needs to be tightened. What we're going to do is just going to mark each one of them. Actually mark each one of them. We're going to, once they're kind of taut, then we're going to hit them down with a sledgehammer. And then we can see how far down they're gone then, so to get similar on both sides. It'll be pulled the same way. Now on a tunnel with a lesser bend, what you'll be going for is that when your hand is in there, the calcium will be hurting your hand. So this is a lesser bend, so we might get as much as that. Probably at that point will be the most we'll get. We'll just see how tight we can get it, and when we're finished then I'll let you know. But say we get it fairly tight in there. Alright? So I'm just going to give these a tap if they're going down and holding stuff down. If they're kind of just jumping back up, I'll just put a mark on them and we'll retighten them. Yeah, we'll just maybe do that one down. Actually, we'll just be giving them all a little bit of a tighten, but some definitely more of a tighten than others. So we'll work the way around, tapping them all like that, and then tighten them a little bit, and then tap on them again, you know. So that's basically it. Right. Alright, that's grand. So you see it there now? She's tight, there's not a wrinkle in the whole thing. This is a couple up there. So you can see there now she's tight. She's probably tightened 8 out of 10 there. Now we're just going to tighten up to the last there now. On the outside, and we'll just give her another tap, and then we'll put a self-tapping screw there so it can't come up, you know. And it'll stay down. Then if it ever does come loose, all you have to do is give it a tap, you know, and then I've never seen one to come loose, but if it ever does, just give it a tap and then just screw it on.
Take it there.
So you can see there's a lot of pressure on that there, you know. That's as much as you can get there. So then it really have to come along and tap it down and have it back down. For now, we're going to start tapping on them just above that. And we'll just go up here and do it. I'm just going to put 5 battens here. The first one's on already. And the second one now I'm just going to come down here, look. Put it past. Cut up here on an angle. Cut up here on an angle. Now, it's just a funny thing when you're doing these. Because of the angle coming down, you actually need to roll these slightly that way in order to get the pull, you know. No, ideally there now, there's no hair going in. So I'm screwing him down. So. He's up higher now, so I'm going to pull him down a bit. You're not going to see the next bit, I'm just going to loosen this. Jack is on the camera now, he's going to hang off of that. And we'll screw it back and then we're going to hang off of that, just to tighten it. I'll show you what I mean here now. I'll get him like that. And I'll pull him down. Till he's flush. And then we're going to tighten it.
Cut?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
This is this one nearest the side, so we're going to cut up at an angle here, look. And so. And then we'll just go for 1 inch there because we'll be wrapping that way. Come across. Same thing up here at an angle. Again, we go up 1 inch. There's too much stuff here, look, we can cut a lot of that away. Oh, roll that. And do the same thing now. This one again now, so off that. And drag all them in, fold them into that. And you keep this side slightly higher than that side. And you try on again about a 1/2 inch. Not too much there now. So I can come down with it. No. I'm going to screw him there. No. I'll screw him right down there. And then again we'll hang off of this little bit till we get him. Okay.
Yeah, probably the first. I bet you'll be alright after a while. Just need to take off all the. Yeah, it must be exposed. You know what I mean? So, when you get